Hey guys, my name's Elise and this is The Crunchy Ginger. It's my YouTube channel where every week I share a tip or a trick or a DIY that's aimed at helping you, and also me, live a little greener and save a little money. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, I would love it if you would subscribe so that we could stay in touch. Now, this week, we got tomatoes. We got a lot of tomatoes. Listen, I love canning tomatoes, but I don't have a huge garden and I don't have a whole ton of tomatoes for canning. But what I do have is like a little more than I can use right now. So later in the season, whenever they really start coming on, I probably will have enough to do like a small batch of diced tomatoes or some sauce or something like that. And canning is the way to go for that. But sometimes you have just a few more than you can use, or maybe you don't want to deal with canning, or maybe you've got a couple of tomatoes that are just going a little bit ripe. And my favorite way to get rid of them, but save them, is to freeze them. You can freeze tomatoes whole. I discovered this trick last year and it totally blew my mind, and it works incredibly well because it is so super simple. So I'm going to show you how to prep them to put them in the freezer. It just takes a few seconds, and then I'm going to show you what they look like when they come out of the freezer. I've already got some frozen just so that we can take a look at what they look like on the other side and just how easy they are to use. So all you need to do is rinse them off, pat them dry, and then you're just going to hull them. So you'll just take, I just have this little serrated steak knife. I know that they make these cool, fancy tomato knives, and I wish I had one of those, but I don't. So I just use this. You pop that guy out like that. That's it. That's all you need to do. You pack them into a freezer bag and pop them in the freezer. It's seriously that simple. I like to pack these guys in a freezer bag in a single layer like that. And then my favorite way to get the air out is with a straw. I don't keep a lot of straws around, but one of the side effects of the pandemic is that you seem to get a lot of plastic straws that you don't ask for when you get occasional takeout. I like to put the straw in like this. DIY vacuum seal. So let me show you what they look like on the other side. These are some tomatoes that I froze a couple of days ago, and actually I tried to do a couple of cherry tomatoes and I'd never done that before, so we're gonna see exactly what that looks like when they come out as well. So here are my tomatoes. This one got a little bit frosty, so whoops, they're rolling everywhere. So you want to kind of dry them off if you can. And then you can either set them out on the counter for a few moments until they get a little bit softer, or you can run them under some cool water for just a moment, and the skins will literally just peel right off. Yep, look at that. The skins just peel right off of the little cherry tomatoes too. And now this guy is ready to chop up and use in soup or a stew or whatever you want to use your tomatoes for. I feel like, oh gosh, sometimes I feel like 50% of the recipes that I use involve chopped diced tomatoes or whatever. So you can see it's still kind of frozen, which is actually sort of a benefit because it keeps it from, you know, when you chop a tomato and the juice and everything goes all over everywhere. So just use a sort of a firm hand because they are a little bit slippery, but you can just chop it right like that. Hopefully you can see that there, and dice it up for whatever it is you need to use your tomato for. Voila! And the same thing worked for the cherry tomato. The skin peeled right off of there, so you can use those just like that. Also, you know, the thing about canning tomatoes is you've got to peel them all before you can them, which is like a major pain. So this way, the skins just slip right off once they're frozen. I hope you found this useful. If you did, give it a like, subscribe. I'd really love to stay in touch. And while you're here, you can check out a couple of other of my summer preserving videos if you've got some other produce that is just begging to be preserved for later in the year. Thanks so much.